Members, the House is resumed. We are on the third reading of the Climate Change Response Removal of Transitional Measure Amendment Bill, and James Shaw was speaking and has 4 minutes remaining if he wishes. I call James Shaw.
So in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, one of the advantages of being cut off at the 10 p.m. bell and then resuming at the 9 a.m. one overnight is that you have the opportunity to reflect, Mr. Speaker. And it occurred to me overnight that the way that we were talking about this, about climate change, was in terms that people don't really get the gravity. You know, we can talk about a 96% increase in our projected emissions over the coming 15 years. We can talk about a 0.7 reduction in those emissions from this bill. We can talk about the fact that our emissions have risen 19%, but that's meaningless to the vast majority of people. And so let me just reframe it slightly. When you think about the increasing frequency and depth and severity of the droughts, talk to farmers about the 2013 drought that wiped $1.5 billion off our economy. When you talk about the increasing floods around the country, talk to the people of Whanganui and South Dunedin whose houses went underwater last year. When we talk about the increasing storms and the severity of those storms, talk to the people of Island Bay whose whole seawall was destroyed and they had to make a decision about whether to have a managed retreat of the Island Bay foreshore and to sacrifice the road along that stretch of waterfront. Talk to the people of Hutt City who lost power for a week and the small businesses there that went under because they didn't get electricity. Those are the impacts. That's what happens in our failure to address climate change, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister, Paula Bennett, has said more encouraging words over the last 6 months than her predecessor did in 8 years. And I want to say this. If those are not just words, if they're not just there to mollify and soothe us into submission, then, and if she actually wants to deliver on this, if she wants to actually do what is necessary for New Zealand to deliver on its commitment to do our part in facing the global climate crisis, then I say to the Minister, let us know what we can do to help, because that is our primary commitment. This is too big a task for petty partisanship. It's too important for petty politics. It is the single greatest challenge facing our society, our economy and our civilization today. So we are committed to doing all we can to ensure that New Zealand plays its part. And I say this to the Minister. We will do everything that we can to support her if she is truly committed to making a difference. Girl, you know it's true. So in that, Mr. Speaker, we will be supporting this bill. As we have said a number of times during the course of this debate, it is an incredibly small step, but it is a first step. And we hope to see more from the Minister in the very near future, because this has been a crisis that has been growing over the course of 25 years. We are way behind the 8 ball on this. It is time for New Zealand to step up and do what's necessary. We commend this bill to the House.